What's going on, guys? We've got something a little bit different today. The other day I got this text, all right? It said, and I quote, "Isaac, I'm working on a sinister type of punt, but I'm going to need to help to see if it's even possible. Would love to hear from you." This from a Division I FBS football coach. So naturally, I said, okay. I gave him my number. So he texted me, and here's pretty much what he wants to know about. He said, "I am wondering that if you think a right-footed punter would be able to roll out to the left. We're thinking probably hitting an end over end instead of a turnover, but I also like the idea of potentially hitting a banana ball too." So automatically, right-footed punter rolling out, punting to his left, poses a series of challenges that I'm gonna talk about real quick. The first thing is as you're rolling out to your left, okay, so punters, when we punt, right, boom, we're more likely to like kind of close our hips to the ball. Boom, like I'm gonna get wide, my right hip is going to close back parallel to the part where I'm kicking, or perpendicular to where I'm kicking, and that's gonna help me generate some power. Problem, okay, if I'm going to the left, my hips are already pretty close. So it's gonna be really hard, if anything, to like swing back open at a ball. That poses a ton of challenges. It's not impossible, but I think it's very challenging, and what I'm hoping to do is not maybe just show that it's possible, but give some direct feedback of how I was able to accomplish this or consistently accomplish this if it does end up being possible, which I've got a pretty good feeling it will be. Anything's possible in punting. That's why best play in the game, baby. But okay, so naturally he proposed three options. We've got the drop kick, we've got the spiral, and then we have the banana ball. Automatically, I really like the banana ball. It does a lot of things really good. First of all, it's meant to hook back in, so you're allowed to have your hips a little bit more closed and still swing aggressively across, and that banana ball is just going to hook back up the sideline. I think that's a really good possibility, and initially, my next thought is to go straight to the spiral. The drop kick, in a lot of ways, uses like the similar mechanics to the spiral, like the same swinging motion, so I think the only way that the drop kick would become favorable is in terms of consistency. I don't think it's gonna get you more distance or hang time. It might be a more consistent ball than the spiral, but the spiral is gonna be a bigger ball every time, so if we can get a spiral to be consistent, if I can figure out some of that stuff, then we're definitely gonna try to roll with the spiral. If not, then I'll send back, hey, at best you have to do drop kick here. So initially, the first thing I'm thinking about is how do I keep my hips from getting too narrow, okay? So first, the kind of bad part is you wanna kind of keep your hips tight, which becomes really hard to like roll out to your left while sort of like shuffling around to keep your hips really close to the sideline. So I'm thinking initially, let's say we only run this play, rolling out to the left from the left hash. What would that look like? So we're gonna start off by hitting, I'm just gonna hit a rack of balls. I got 9. We'll roll through them pretty quickly. I'm gonna go from the left hash aiming for left numbers. So it's a really narrow thing, but my thought process is I wanna roll out to the numbers, then take my steps straight down the numbers and kick, creating like a lefty rollout-esque type effect. Okay, so for methodology, first of all, this little yellow tick mark that's right here on the ground is gonna be my starting point. That's gonna be the hash. The white line that goes in the field, I'm gonna treat that as the numbers. All right, starting with the full roll. It's a little tough, but I think I kind of like pushed my drop out, so we'll run that back. We got it down the numbers on that time, but it wasn't a gorgeous ball, so we'll run it one more time. That was a couple yards inside the numbers. We're getting some good distance. I feel it's a little awkward, so here's what I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna try to keep my hips a little bit more open, but hold my drop inside and swing across, see if that helps. All right, we got it pretty far, pretty out to the numbers. Now we're gonna try like the quick kick. Decent little ball. Work in progress, work in progress. All right, so for the last one, I'm gonna do kind of like a motioning rover. So if you notice, I kind of catch, shuffle, pretty much a directional left ball. So my problem so far with this style of kick is like, if you're not a good directional left punter, for what I just tried, you're probably not gonna be a great rollout left punter if we go for a spiral. So it's good to give them a new look to move around the block point, but I think a good operation might just be able to get the job done. It depends on the look you're getting for the week. We're gonna try one more where I'm gonna try to like move and rover it. I really wanna see how many different looks we can get out of there. It just needs some testing. We'll see. One more. Yeah, I demolished that football, I'm not gonna lie. So right off the bat, it just felt like kicking directional left with extra steps. It wasn't impossible. As you can tell, like every ball I got a little bit better. Started just like to calm down, feel the footwork out, straighten out my swing a little bit, which was nice. The biggest things that I felt was the urge to sort of put that ball back on the inside to try to like swing out to the right. I think the more that I just like played into like, hey, whatever, it's gonna be inside ball and go towards the sideline. It actually, it didn't feel too bad. It did not feel too bad. So in the next one we're gonna move on to though is I wanna try the banana one. I think the banana's gonna be really consistent. It's a great wind for it because the wind is kind of pushing the balls back inside. So it should really like, you wanna play it out so it looks like it's going out of bounds and then just hugs that line and then just skips up. So we're gonna give that a shot real quick. So the next ball that we're gonna hit is the banana off the rollout. I think this is gonna be a pretty good one. It's gonna be really nice with the wind. I'm gonna try to get accurate distances. I just walked them out. Everything I just hit on the spirals is easily like 40 to 70 yards. Like I hit a couple that just were gone. I didn't get the exact distances, but like proof of concept is you can still hit it far. Now we're gonna try this. So here's how I'm holding it for those curious. Okay, I'm kind of gripping the side. My aiming point is I'm kind of aiming for the nozzle right through the gut, right? So my foot should be hitting on this backside right here, pushing it, creating sort of a banana effect where it'll spin sideways through the air. Let's give it a shot. So that was 50 yards. Pretty nice little hook right there. I might try to play it closer to the sideline and get it to really curve back up. 46 yards. That had some pretty nice little movement to it. I'll move around the camera. I really want you guys to be able to see this thing move in the air. I want you guys to see how it moves in the air. That was 45 again. Got a lot of movement. What I'm liking so far about this ball, let me move closer. What I'm liking so far about this ball is I don't feel like I've got to like do so much craziness with my hips. Like my hips are able to stay down. I'm focusing on is a good drop. Get a pretty good ball. There's a nice breeze on my back, which is definitely helping. Optimal breeze for this type of situation. That being said, this could be one of those situations you're thinking about calling it. So, and right now I'm still left hash. I'm gonna try to play this one more aggressively out of bounds and really try to get it. I don't know if you can see this bunch of cones down there. I'm gonna try to play it up the cone. That was better. That was 44 yards. Okay, so all of these have been kind of like helicopter. So for helicopter, I hold it a little bit more flat and try to kick through it. I'm gonna try to go banana now, where I hold it more up and down and try to kick a little bit of a higher hang time punt. Let's just see what that does. That was 50, especially with this wind. I think you want to go more banana than helicopter. Again, banana is here, and I'm trying to swing under the gut of that ball to get it that sort of spin. Helicopter, I'm holding it here, like this. I'm trying to kick through it and get it like downfield and keep it a little lower. Different strokes for different folks. Another 50-yarder. These are going pretty far out of bounds before hooking back in, so you might get the Peter call. This looks like a dangerous ball, especially with this wind. We got two more. And there's the oopsie ball. So that's one of the ones I was worried about. I try to be a little bit more aggressive. I angled it. That thing went straight out of bounds. No shot of being inbound. So they're gonna mark that probably 15 yards from us. So that's the oopsie. You do have to be, it's not automatic. You gotta be know what you're doing here. Be very vigilant. But that thing took a little bit more of a turn. And I almost got back in bounds. It looked like it was gonna go out of bounds over the fence and hook back into like the first lane of the track. That's all I'm saying. Okay, worst one, a lot of movement, very toey, bounced kind of too close to the middle of the field for my comfort. So I think your ideal ball, you want to play it out of bounds. I actually really like that one. It felt a lot more fluid with my hips. My miss hits were a lot less variant, and I think it's gonna be a hard ball to catch. I think a lot of people are gonna peter that call, especially if you have like on your spiral punch, you're just dotting them downfield and really getting them far. If people have to like stand at 50 yards and they see a 45 yarder that's just like a freaking pisser just coming down at them, they're in trouble. So now next we're gonna hit a hit set or a split set. All right, so next we got the drop punt. Like I said, I'm not feeling optimistic about this one, but we're gonna do it. For the sake of science, we're gonna do it. .44. .44. Like I said, I thought it was going to be more consistent. That's one of the perks it had going for it. Ah, see, that's the ball I'm worried about though. Don't know how far it is because it was straight at a bounce. .43. Yeah, that's the only ones I'm gonna hit. I just don't think it's better than hitting the banana or hitting the spiral. Like, I don't feel like you can get as much into it. I feel like what little hip action you can get out of this style of punt, you lose on the fact that if you do that with a drop punt, it's just going straight out of bounds. So you have to just baby everything. I don't love it. Next, I'm gonna go 2 spirals, 2 banana balls, and then whichever one I like best at the end, I'm gonna hit as the last one. Just to kind of see, just to feel it out. This hit 45. This hit 45. That's so dirty. Look at the that's just a fill. So that was 40. That must have had like a 2.9. The rotation on that and the height on that came down like a freaking saw blade. About 55, 56 in that ballpark. Like I said, the spiral you can still hit a big spiral. I feel like I have to concentrate way harder on the spiral. Look at that. Look at that movement. 45 yards. That ball moved 15 yards in the air. The last one I'm hitting on's a banana. Not sure what else to say, guys. It's a crazy consistent ball to hit from the rollout. You get a lot of movement. It's not easy to catch as a returner. All the bounces have been forward, and the miss hit, like when I miss it, sometimes it gives me a crazier, scarier ball to catch. Well, when I miss hit the spiral, sometimes I hit what looks like just a regular miss hit just straight down the middle. Dangerous because returners are used to fielding that. Like I miss hit the banana, it gets set like a saw blade, 40 yards. That would have cut somebody's fingers off if they try to catch it. That might just be the saw. So the report I'm giving back, banana's probably the most consistent, then spiral. The drop kick doesn't have enough upside. The spiral, I might try a couple after this with spiral from the open field to see if that's a little bit more comfortable. It did feel a little bit weird. It feels like just trying to get your hips back open to swing is really the hard part of hitting the spiral. So maybe if I have more room to work with, I can take a less aggressive angle than swing across for it. So that's what I'll try. But we're gonna hit one more banana, then we're gonna get the last set of spirals from open field, because I think on the open field side of things, the spiral might be better. When we're tighter to the sideline, you might have to go with the banana. But before I kick it, let's just go through the final thought process, because he'll want to know what I'm thinking about when I'm kicking this. Okay, boom, we're still here. I'm holding it like this. I'm going with the flat one. I like that one a little bit more. Aiming through back seam, right? Somewhere in this area, or potentially the nozzle. And I'm trying to kick through here to create that spin. Finally, I'm keeping my hips. I'm running at the sideline. So I take a shuffle step, then run at the sideline, and then I'm closing my hips to this spot to pretty much try to just kick it straight at the sideline, but have it skate up. With the left to right breeze, it played really, really well. With the right to left breeze, I would try it again. See, feel that out, see how that plays differently, because I might keep it out of bounds, which isn't good for us because it's gonna go out early if it stays out of bounds. So it needs to hook back in and land the field of play. So let's hit the last one and okay, that was a 46 yarder. 46 yarder. That thing moved from down the alley to like middle of the field, and it came down fast and at a weird angle. Like I said, I really like it. It wasn't my cleanest hit, but I like that the not clean hit is gonna give the returner something really weird. While the not clean hits for the other ones are they're putting the ball out of bounds, or just sending it straight down the middle with like a pretty recognizable miss hit. So I'm gonna try a couple open field spirals out of the roll left, and then final reports in a couple seconds. Okay, so for the last set, here's gonna be kind of like this interesting concept I was working on. I tried to do it over there. I hit one really good ball, but I only gave it one shot, and I feel like it'd be better on the open field. So here's the plan, okay? We're gonna go right hash, okay? Roll left, hips, aim towards middle of the field, ball drop like you're kicking to the left hash, and then kind of continue to swing across your body. I hope the wind isn't too bad. Continue to swing across your body to put the ball ideally outside the left numbers. That's sort of the process. That's what I'm thinking of. We're gonna see, obviously, if that actually comes to fruition or not. First time it's ever been tried, but I like it. I've got a decent breeze for it, so let's give it a couple goes. Crazy far. Walking down, just look at where all these landed. You've got two over there at the back white line, two tucked into the opposite net over here, two more snugging up against that net. The shortest one, look at this, the shortest one is, let's get a quick math count here, is at 56 yards. So that's, wait, where is that ball at? That ball right there is 56 yards from where I was punting it from. So all of those are crazy across the field punts for, I'm kicking from this yellow line coming out of the base. That's where I was kicking from. And that's where all of these are ending up, all the way down there. So let's get some distances. Okay, so when all is said and done, dude, I am sweating my balls off. Obviously, when you're tied to the hash, you want to go banana ball. I think that's pretty clear. But when you're a little bit wider, I think that little rover punt, where you kind of step, leave the hips open, then close them all the last seconds, was ridiculously effective. My worst ball was like 45, 50 yards from the line of scrimmage, and it was an ugly one. Ugly. Diving, like, would have been very hard to catch. Probably not where the returner is going to be standing. If he sees me warming up with those pregame, he's probably standing a little further back. So the chance he doesn't get to it and we get the bounce all the way back here. The blue cone that I alluded to earlier was sitting right at 67 yards. So a bunch of them were going 67, probably even a little further. And that was across the entire length of the field. 67 from hash to opposite numbers was what we're talking about there. So that is a humongous ball. Probably not returners getting to it. As you can see, the bounces all pretty good, pretty favorable. So yeah, that's pretty much what I gathered here, right, for a new style of punt. Keep a lookout for it. When it happens, it will be posted. There's a lot of interesting work to happen out here. I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Peace.